Krabat. The First Year, Chapter 3. No Bed of Roses. Krabat had a hard time from then on. The master worked him unmercifully. It was, "Where are you, Krabat? There are a couple of sacks of grain to be carried to the granary." And, "Come here, Krabat. You're to turn the grain over, right from the bottom, so it won't start sprouting." Or, "The meal you sifted yesterday is full of husks. You'll see to it after supper. Oh no, and no bed for you before it's clear of them." The mill in the fen of Kosel ground grain every day, weekdays and Sundays, from early in the morning until night began to fall. Only once a week, on Fridays, did the miller's men stop work earlier, and they started 2 hours later than usual on Saturdays. When Krabat was not busy carrying sacks or sifting meal, he had to chop wood, shovel snow, carry water to the kitchens, groom the horses, cart manure out of the cowshed. In short, there was always plenty for him to do, and when he lay down on his straw mattress at night, he felt as if every bone in his body was broken. His back was aching, the skin of his shoulders was chafed, and his arms and legs hurt so much he could hardly bear it. Krabat marveled at his companions. They did not seem at all bothered by the heavy day's work. None of them appeared tired or complained. They did not even sweat or get out of breath as much as they worked. One morning Krabat was busy clearing snow from the way to the well. It had snowed all night without stopping, and the wind had drifted up the pathways. Krabat gritted his teeth every time he dug his shovel in. He felt a sharp pain in his back. Then Tonda came up to him, looking around to make sure they were alone. He put a hand on Krabat's shoulder. "Keep going, Krabat." Suddenly the boy felt as if new strength was flowing into him. The pain vanished. He seized his shovel, and would have gone on shoveling away with a will if Tonda had not taken his arm. "Don't let the master notice," he said. "Nor Lishko either." Krabat had not liked Lishko much from the first. He was a tall, lean fellow with a sharp nose and a squint, who seemed to be a snooper and an eavesdropper, and a creeper around corners. You could never be sure you were safe from him. "All right," said Krabat, and he went on with his work, acting as though they were making very heavy weather of it. Quite soon, as if by chance, along came Lishko. "Well, Krabat, how do you like the taste of your job?" "How do you think?" grumbled the boy. "You try a nice mouthful of dirt, Lishko. That's about how much I like the taste of it." After this, Tonda took to meeting Krabat more often and placing a hand unobtrusively on his shoulder. Every time the boy felt new strength coursing through him, and however hard his work might be, he found he could do it easily. The master and Lishko knew nothing at all about it, nor did the other miller's men, not the two cousins, Mikal and Merten, each as strong and good-natured as the other, nor did pockmarked Andrush, who was a great joker, not Hanso, who was nicknamed the Bull because of his bull's neck and his close-cropped hair, nor Peter, who passed his spare time whittling wooden spoons, nor the popular Stashko, who moved quick as a flash and was very clever as the little monkey Krabat remembered gaping at years before at the fair in Königswarta. Kito, who always looked as if he had just swallowed a pound of nails, noticed nothing either, nor did the silent Kubu, nor of course did stupid Juro. Juro was a brawny young man with short legs and a flat moon face sprinkled with freckles. He had been there longer than anyone but Tonda. He was not much use at the work of the mill, being, as Andrush used to say mockingly, too stupid to keep bran and flour apart. and but for the fact that he had fool's luck, he would certainly have fallen into the machinery and been caught between the millstones long ago, said Andros. Juro was quite used to such remarks and put up with Andros' teasing patiently. He ducked without protest when Quito threatened to hit him for some trifle or other, and when, as often happened, the other journeyman played a practical joke on him, he took it with a grin as much as to say, "Well, I know, I'm stupid." The housework seemed to be all Juro was fit for, and since someone had to see to it, they were all perfectly happy to let him do it for them, cooking and washing the dishes, baking bread and lighting fires, scrubbing the floor and scouring the steps, dusting, washing, ironing, and everything else that had to be done about the house and the kitchen. He looked after the chickens, geese, and pigs too. It was a mystery to Krabat how Juro ever got all his jobs done. However, it seemed perfectly natural to the others, and on top of that, the master treated Juro like dirt. Krabat thought it was a shame, and once, when he took a load of firewood in the kitchen and Juro, not for the first time, gave him the end of a sausage to put in his pocket, he told him exactly how he felt. "I just don't see how you can put up with it," he said. "What, me?" asked Juro in surprise. "Yes, you. The master treats you shamefully and all the others laugh at you." "Tonda doesn't," Juro objected, "and you don't either." "What difference does that make?" cried Krabat. "I know what I'd do if I were you. I'd stick up for myself. That's what. I wouldn't take it any more. I wouldn't take it from Quito or Andrush or any other of them." Said Juro, scratching the back of his neck. "Maybe that's what you do, Krabat." "Well, you could. But what if you were just a fool like me?" "Well, run away then," cried the boy. "Run away from here. Find somewhere else where they'll treat you better. Run away." And for a moment, Juro didn't look stupid at all, merely tired and sad. "Try it, Krabat, try running away from here." "I don't have any reason to." "No," muttered Juro. "No, of course you don't. Let's hope you never do." He put a crust of bread in the boy's pocket, cut short his thanks, and pushed him out of the door, a silly grin on his face as usual. Krabat saved his bread and sausage until the end of the day. Soon after supper, while the miller's men were sitting in the servants' hall, Petter busy with his whittling and the rest of passing the time by telling stories, the boy left them and climbed up the attic. He threw himself down on his straw mattress, yawning. He ate his bread and sausage then, and as he lay there enjoying his feast, his thoughts went back to Juro and their talk to the kitchen. Run away, he thought. Run away from what? It's no bed of roses here. So much hard work to do, and I would be in a bad way without Tonda's help. But the food's good here, there's plenty of it. I have a roof over my head, and when I get up in the morning, I'm sure of a bed for the next night, warm and dry and reasonably soft, with no bugs or fleas in it. That's more than I could have ever hoped for when I was a beggar boy.